Hello, everyone. Welcome. Happy Thursday. Hope everyone is having a great day today. I am super excited for today's live because I get to talk about one of my absolute favorite products, tools that I use in my business. This is one I've actually been using from almost the very beginning, and I will tell you, it does not disappoint. And the coolest thing about it which I'm gonna give you this spoiler alert here. It's gonna be one of the things I'm gonna talk about. But the coolest thing about it is that it's completely free. And I love that because when I first started my business, I didn't have a lot of money to spend on tools. So the fact that I could find something great that was free was really, really huge. But it's also been great as I've grown in my business. So even though I'm 3+ years in, my business is significantly different than it was when I first started out. This free tool is still a winner for me. So the tool I want to talk to you about today is a tool called Wave Apps. And I'm going to go ahead and just share my screen here. And for everyone watching live, thank you so much for joining us. I know we've got a few people over on YouTube, some folks here watching in the Badass Moneymakers group. Welcome. Say hi in the comments if you're watching live. I'd love to know who's here. So let me go ahead and share my screen because I don't have any slides for you today. Today is all about diving into the tool. It's the first accounting review I'm going to do. I'm starting with my favorite because I'm biased. I absolutely love Wave Apps. And before you ask, no, I'm not an affiliate for them. It's a free product. There's nothing to be an affiliate for. I'm just a huge fan. Now, that's not to say that Wave Apps is perfect. It definitely has some of its little bugs or glitches, and I'll talk about those as we go through, but it's still a really great tool that I recommend to almost all of my clients, whether they're tax clients or in my membership just starting out. No matter what it is, this is a tool that I like to recommend. So, all right, let me go ahead and share my screen here. Oh, let's change our background. I'm never good about that. Never remember to do that. Let's go, I don't know, I'm liking the green. Kind of like the white today, but I think probably the blue is the one to stick with. So this is Wave Apps, and this is what it looks like when you go to the website, waveapps.com. Let me go ahead and put that in for anybody who's a visual person. So waveapps.com, you can head there right now if you're watching the video and follow along with me as I go. And what I love about Wave Apps is it was really designed for, I think, they haven't officially said this, but I think it was really designed for online business owners, digital product business owners, service-based business owners who don't have overly complicated business models, who don't need their accounting system to do everything because they don't have everything in their business. They probably don't have physical products. They probably don't have a lot of different departments or service lines that they're trying to do like different budgets for. If that's you, you probably wouldn't want to use Wave Apps. I read somewhere that somebody said, Wave Apps is really great as you're starting out, but as you get bigger, it becomes less and less appropriate. And I'll be honest, I don't totally agree with that statement. I don't see why you couldn't run $1 million or a $10 million or $50 million business using Wave Apps. I think what matters more is your business model, how complicated your business is. So again, if you've got many departments and you're trying to do lots of different budgets and lots of different tracking, that's probably going to get a little more complicated. Wave Apps isn't going to be the best tool for you. If you've got a ton of physical inventory and you want your accounting system to really track all of that, also not a great fit for you. But if you're a service-based business, if you are a digital products business, or even if you are a physical products business, but you've only got a few products, or you don't have a huge amount of inventory, or you don't really need your accounting system to track that inventory for you, then Wave Apps is a great option. So the first thing, and I'm going to give you 3 reasons today why I love Wave Apps. The first reason I've already told you is that Wave Apps is completely free. So I wanted to just give you a sense of pricing because I shouldn't say completely free. There are a few things on Wave Apps you might have to pay for, but I will tell you, I've never actually paid for Wave Apps. So let me walk you through Wave Apps pricing, and then I want to compare it to the pricing of the two, what I think are probably the most common accounting systems out there, QuickBooks and Xero. So Wave Apps pricing, at least as of right now, is fairly straightforward. If you're looking for accounting, it's completely free. You're not going to pay any amount of money to get set up with Wave Apps. What I love especially about this, so I love this for a lot of reasons. Number one, because it makes it really affordable for folks when you're first starting out. And let me tell you, much like your email service provider or your website or your content platform, while you certainly can and should switch those platforms as your business grows if it's necessary, it's a pain in the butt to do it when you're midstream in your business and you've outgrown that platform. So I love the fact that Wave Apps starts out free and continues to be free so that you can start with Wave Apps when you're just starting out in your business. But as your business grows, you can stick with Wave Apps too, so you don't have to switch over to a more complex and expensive accounting system. Their invoicing is also free, meaning they don't charge you to send invoices. Now, that said, you are going to pay standard credit card processing fees. That is going to be the case no matter what invoicing platform you use. If you're using one that is allowed for business purposes. So if you're sitting there going, well, I don't pay anything because I use Venmo. Well, if you've heard me talk about this before, you know that Venmo is not allowed for business purposes, at least not the main Venmo platform. Venmo has since come out with a business version. If you use that, then of course you can use that for your invoicing, but they do charge you to be on the business Venmo. So if you're using a platform where you're not being charged anything for invoicing, then you're probably, I'm guessing, on a platform that you shouldn't be using for business purposes. You're probably using it against their terms of service, and you could end up having your account revoked. So these rates that Wave offers for their payments, and they're the ones right here in the middle of my screen, these are very standard rates. Their credit card processing is 2.9% plus 30 cents for every transaction for the major credit cards. American Express is a little bit higher because American Express charges higher fees. And then bank payments are 1%. There is a $1 minimum fee for a bank payment. But again, these are very standard rates. Not to say there's no way you're going to find lower ones, but these are pretty standard across PayPal and Stripe and all the other payment processors that I'm aware of. So if you do invoicing in your business, you can do it directly in Wave. Now, you may decide you don't want to do it in Wave because maybe you have a tool like Dubsado or Honeybook or something else that you use to manage your clients, and it's just easier to invoice them there. That's totally fine. But what's nice is you have the option. I don't do a lot of invoicing in my business. Most of my people sign up on a sales page and they go through a checkout cart. But every once in a while I have to, and it's nice to know that I can just pop into Wave and send an invoice if I need to for something like that. Okay. Now, Wave does offer some paid features. So I do want to be totally transparent here. Some paid features, but the accounting is 100% free. One of their paid features is payroll. So again, these fees are going to be in line with what is charged. You know, these are very industry standard fees. If it's a state in which they can do the tax filings for you, it's $35 a month plus $6 for every employee or independent contractor you have. If you're in a state where they can't do the tax filings for you, then it's $20 plus $6 per employee or contractor. I'll be honest, as much as I love Wave Apps, if you need payroll, I actually prefer Gusto. I'm a huge fan of Gusto. I am an affiliate for Gusto at megkwheeler.com/Gusto. But I like Gusto a lot better. The pricing is very similar, and I think you get a lot more features. I think Gusto is just a much better payroll platform. Wave has, I mean, they've had payroll for a bit, but they're trying to break into that payroll industry. So it's very possible that in the future they'll have more features. But even the fact that right now they don't do tax filings in all of the states, that's a no-go for me, because if you hire an employee in one of those states, I don't want you to have to worry about doing those tax filings yourself. So get on Gusto, you don't have that problem there. Okay, that's one of the things you'll pay for in Wave. Another thing you'll pay for on Wave, let's see, what did we talk about? Let's see, we talked about accounting, we talked about invoicing, payments, payroll. Oh, I know what I wanted to show you. The other thing the other thing you could pay for in Wave if you wanted to give Wave money is their one-on-one customer services. Now, full disclosure, this is a competitor to me, okay? Because they're offering stuff that I offer too. I will tell you the biggest difference between Wave and me. First and foremost, their pricing is going to be cheaper. I'm not going to lie about that. But the biggest difference is that you're going to get a higher level of service and, frankly, probably a higher level of accuracy with me than with Wave advisors. It's not to say that they're bad by any means, but you know, it's a different business model. Their business model is very much about getting people in, doing the work, getting them out. My business model is about building a relationship and really being a resource for you and a person that can support you year round. But I do want to be transparent. They do offer bookkeeping, they offer payroll support, they offer tax prep, and they've got kind of accounting and payroll coaching that they offer as well. So those are services you would pay for in Wave. But the accounting is completely free, and that is why I absolutely love Wave Apps. Reason number one. Let's take a peek at QuickBooks and Xero's pricing, just to give you a sense, because if you're brand new to accounting, you might be thinking, well, I mean, I don't know, should I pay a little bit more? Like what, am I going to get something if I pay more? What does that look like? So QuickBooks has a lot of plans. Let me just start off by saying this. And some people I know are in grandfathered plans, and some people have QuickBooks Desktop, which, by the way, I absolutely hate. We'll talk about that when I do my review of QuickBooks. But QuickBooks has a lot of plans. I will say I did look at this a few weeks ago, and I was pleased to see it seems like they've started to whittle down their number of plans. They used to have like 10 or 15, and it was really overwhelming. It seems like now they've just got 4 basic plans at kind of the like entry level, meaning you go to their website, you can sign up. I think they've got enterprise plans too, but we don't need to talk about those. So 4 basic plans, and I want to just really briefly talk about their pricing. So one of QuickBooks' biggest things, they've done this for years, is they will get you in with half off pricing. And it looks like that's what they're doing right now. Like their simple plan, normally $25, they'll give it to you for $12.50 a month. And it always depends. It looks like right now they're doing half off for 3 months. Sometimes they'll do 6 months, but this is how they get a lot of people in. And I have a lot of clients who say, oh, I signed up and yeah, I knew it was going to increase, but then it did increase. And all of a sudden I was like, why am I paying $80 a month for my accounting system, right? So I don't love that about QuickBooks. I mean, I get that they're giving you a promo, and it's not that I hate that, but I've just heard a lot of people feel like, once that real pricing hit, I wasn't finding the value there. Their basic plan starts at $12.50, and it really is a basic plan. It doesn't allow you to add any users. It doesn't allow you to do any kind of bill management, but it'll get you what you need if all you need is a place to track your transactions and pull some basic reports like profit and loss. Okay, so that would be the simple start plan, $25 a month. Again, $12.50 for the first 3 months when you start out, but then it's going to go to $25 a month. So already you're talking about spending $600 more a year for exactly the same thing that Wave Apps provides. I don't see the benefit there of going to QuickBooks. You can bump up to the Essentials plan, which is $50 a month. Actually, sorry, I said 600, didn't I? 300 a year for the simple start. The Essentials plan would be 600 for the year. What you get with the Essentials plan is you can get extra users. So you can add an accountant, you can add a bookkeeper, if you've got other folks working with you. You can also add bill management. So if you're trying to pay bills through QuickBooks, I don't have a lot of clients who use that, but that's just something to keep in mind. And you can add time tracking if you're trying to track billable time by clients, or you can also do it for employees. So an option as well, but keep in mind, you're still limited to those 3 users. So if you've got a bunch of employees, that's not necessarily going to work. Again, though, a lot of money to spend, $600 a year just to do the basic accounting functions that Wave Apps does for free. So I don't love that. Now, they claim their most popular plan is the Plus, which is $80 a month or $40 a month for the first 3 months. And what you get for that, in addition to what you get on the other plans, is you get now 5 users instead of 3. Okay, maybe that's helpful, but I don't know. Most of my clients, they'll probably have a bookkeeper. They'll have me, their tax accountant. Beyond that, they're probably not going to have that many people that need access to QuickBooks. So I'm not sure how much value that 3 to 5 jump is, but maybe it is beneficial to some folks. They're also going to add on inventory. So if you're a physical product-based business, that's a must. You've got to be on that Plus plan. Or I guess I shouldn't say you don't have to, but if you're not, you're probably tracking your inventory outside of QuickBooks. And so you've got to make sure you've got something that can do that there. It's also adding on this project profitability, which basically allows you to track your revenues and expenses for different projects to see the profitability of each one. Don't get me wrong. I think that's super cool. I love that. I've got a calculator that does that. I think that's the kind of thing you can do offline. I'm not sure that's worth $80 a month. Like, that's a lot of money to spend just to get those features. So again, not super jazzed about what you're getting for what you're paying. And then their advanced plan is $180 a month. So now we're talking like big money for an accounting system here. You get 25 users. So again, for most of the people in my community, that is just not even remotely helpful for you. You don't have 25 people that need access to your accounting system, so not something you probably care about. It does do some things that are kind of cool though. So it does do, and sorry, I keep hovering over it showing what it does, but it does do some analytics and insights. So you can actually track KPIs, key performance indicators, inside of QuickBooks. That's pretty cool. I like that. Again, though, not sure it's worth $180 a month. Now, I will say Wave doesn't really have functionality for that, but again, not worth $180 a month. Spending $2,000 a year just to track those doesn't really seem like the best use of your money. I feel like you can create a tool that can do that, or there are even cheaper options out there that exist that you can sign up for that can track that kind of stuff. You don't need to spend the money here with QuickBooks. They'll let you batch invoices and expenses. Again, probably not relevant for most of my clients. This is, really designed for bigger companies. They give you customized access so you can change who has what kind of access levels and whatnot. Plus some other things. There's a dedicated account team you can ask questions to. That's pretty cool. That's maybe worth that money. But do you have enough questions coming up that make that worth it on a regular basis to be paying that 180 bucks? So those are the plans for QuickBooks. Again, I'm not super excited about any of them. I think it's frankly a waste of money when Wave Apps covers pretty much all of this stuff, with the exception of inventory and the project profitability. They cover most of this stuff that you need within their system for free. There's also Xero. Now, if I'm going to send a client to a paid product, I'm probably going to send them to Xero. I think Xero does a pretty good job of creating a robust accounting system without completely overwhelming people. That said, I still tell folks that if you're going to use Xero, I think you want to have a bookkeeper, because Xero is not the easiest thing in the world to use. There's definitely a learning curve here. And there are also some things about Xero that are different than other accounting systems in terms of how they report the data. I won't get into the nitty gritty details here, but let me just tell you, they make accountants like me cringe a little bit. So Xero is one of those things where I feel like you want to have somebody who knows what they're doing inside of that tool. So Xero has 3 plans. Now, their pricing I actually think is a little bit better. But again, I'm not sure it's totally worth it when you've got Wave Apps as an option. So they've got their basic plan is their early plan, $550 a month, but this is 50% off the current price. So the current price is $11 a month. So 50% off $550, you get that for the first 3 months. So similar to QuickBooks, they're doing that 50% off thing for the first 3 months. Their basic plan is just a little bit, not actually a little bit, is about half the price of QuickBooks basic plan. So you can get into Xero in a paid product for about half of what you can get into QuickBooks. They say right here, this is great for sole traders, new businesses, and the self-employed. Again, they're basically saying, if you don't have a lot going on, this is a good option. So they allow you to send quotes and 20 invoices, 5 bills, and then do all the basic accounting stuff. They don't let you bulk reconcile transactions. So if you've got a lot of transactions, probably not a great plan for you to be on. You can't use multiple currencies on this plan. You can't track projects, and you can't do some fancy stuff with expenses. Again, it's not a lot of money, but why are you spending any money when Wave Apps can give you all of this plus more actually for free? They have a growing plan. So this is $32 a month. Again, 50% off for the first 3 months. You can do a little bit more. You can send more invoices. You can have, I believe it's unlimited bills. But again, there are still some of those features that you can't use. And again, I will say, why are we paying for this when we can still do all of this on Wave Apps for free? Then they got their established plan. This is kind of like their big plan, although they say growing is their most popular, but I feel like most of my clients are probably on their established plan. So this is $62 a month, 50% off for the first 3 months. You can do everything. You can do your invoicing, your bills, all the accounting stuff. You can track projects. You can use multiple currencies. They've got in-depth analytics. Like, if I'm going to send you to Xero, I'm going to want you on this plan. And it's probably because your business is bigger and more robust, and probably because you have physical products and want to track some inventory stuff. I'm going to send you to Xero because that's the plan that's going to make sense for you. This is a tool that a lot of bookkeepers know that feels like a good place to put it. But again, for most people, you don't need that level of service. So that's number one, why I love Wave Apps, because it's free. And frankly, I think it gives you more bang for your buck than these other ones that aren't free. Number 2 is because it's easy to set up. So I want to just walk you through Wave Apps. So this is what Wave Apps looks like. This is a test account that you're seeing. When you log in every time, this is what your dashboard looks like. Now, everybody's dashboard actually is going to look slightly different, I should say, because it depends on what you have connected to Wave Apps. So in my test account, I don't have any bank accounts connected, but if I did, right here, I would see a screen that would tell me how much I had in each account, each bank account, each credit card. Right there, boom, I can see. It also, right when I log in, shows me my cash flow. I love this. I love being able to see like, ooh, okay, in this month, I was actually under a little bit, but wow, we had a really good month in, what was that, July. We took in a lot of money in July. It also shows me my profit and loss. So again, I love to see this, like, oh, okay, what did my months look like? Down at the bottom here, it shows me what I owe, what I have to pay that's coming up if I'm tracking my bills. And then it also shows me my net income for the year. And then the last thing I love that it shows me is this expense breakdown. So I can see, okay, I paid, my biggest expense was contractors, $2,500. My second biggest was advertising and promotion for 24.8% or $1,000. I love seeing that. So I like that Wave Apps just makes things very clean and easy to look at and easy to read and understand if you're not an accounting person. When I said it's easy to set up, I mean this wholeheartedly. I think it's a much more user friendly and user attractive platform, because things just look cleaner, they look easier. It doesn't feel like something an accountant's built, to be honest. And I mean that in a good way. So the first thing you would do when you come to Wave Apps is you'd come to this chart of accounts, which is basically the list of your categories. They've already got a ton in there for you. But very easily, you can, for example, come here to income and you can just add a new category if you want. So it's super easy to get that stuff set up from the beginning. It's also super easy to get your accounts connected. If you go here to banking, connected accounts, they make it really easy to sync with accounts. Now, in fairness, all accounting systems tend to do this, but I just like that this is something that exists in Wave. They use Plaid, which is if you've ever seen it, it's that little app that pops up that asks you to log into your bank account so it automatically connects. It's more secure. Great way to get your info in there. So super easy to set up. And my number 3 reason why I love Wave Apps so much is because it's super easy to use. So I already showed you the dashboard screen, which I think is really helpful and just makes it really easy to see the information you need. This is your transaction screen. I think it's really nice the way they've set this up. It's easy to see all the transactions. You can open each one of these up. Like in QuickBooks, you got to click and then it opens a new tab, and it's a lot of tabs. Here you can just do that little drop down and then you can click the arrow again and it's going to pop that right back up. You can filter really easily. You can search, you can sort. It just makes it easy to play with the data. I also love their reconciliation feature. So again, every accounting system has this, but I think Wave Apps makes it very approachable. So this reconciliation is when at the end of the month, let's just say we're going to make sure our bank statement what's in Wave Apps matches our bank statement. So they make it super easy here to do this. Again, I think they just do a good job of creating a clean surface so that you're not getting overwhelmed by all the different words and numbers. And I just really like the way they've set this up. I also really like their reports. So they make their reporting really easy right at the top. Here are the top 3 that most people want to pull. They do have some other ones. So again, much like QuickBooks or Xero, they've got the other sort of more detailed or more specific reports that you can go down and find. But they give you, they give you the ones you need right up here. They make them very easy to read. They give you this sort of summary. You can click details to see. I think they make it really obvious up here what information you have, the dates and what kind of report type. So it's really easy to see what you need to change or set to pull the report that you want. So I love Wave Apps for that reason, because it just makes everything really easy to navigate. Let's see if there's anything else I want to show you in here. I think that's actually it. Well, I'll pop in the invoices thing in case anyone is interested in invoices. Not something we've done in our paid account yet, but it's really easy to create invoices. And you can also, you can add your logo and all that information. You can also create recurring invoices within Wave. And this is actually a new feature. You can create checkouts. So if you don't have a sales page, or you don't have like a Thrive cart or a Sam cart, or anything that can process checkouts, you can do that directly from Wave. So you can just click here, you set some stuff up, and then it's going to give you a link. It's going to give you an embed code if you want to put it into a website. Again, it makes it really awesome to be able to do some of this stuff as you're maybe just starting out and you don't have a full website, or you haven't paid for all these other tools. It's a really great system to be able to do this stuff right in here. So I'm going to leave it there because I think I've shown you everything about Wave Apps that I love. I did mention at the beginning that there are, it has some bugs. There are a couple of things I don't love. I will say that those things aren't things that make me feel like you shouldn't use it. Again, it's free. So you're not out anything if you get set up on it and you realize you don't like it. The issues that I have had with Wave Apps, on occasion, my bank account connection will fail and I'll have to get that started up again. I don't love that. And it's not so much the failing that I don't love. It's that if I don't reset it quickly enough, it may miss pulling over some of those transactions. So then I've got to go in and manually add them. I don't love that. Thankfully, it doesn't happen that often. And I will tell you, I don't think it's a Wave Apps failure. I think it's just the bank and their security saying, whoops, we're going to cut off this connection. You've got to reconnect it. The other thing I will comment on in terms of Wave Apps, again, it is a free product. They do actually have pretty good customer service given that it's a free product, but that can take a little bit longer than if you were on that QuickBooks plan where you get the dedicated customer access team, right? So you might wait a few days with Wave Apps to get an answer back, whereas otherwise you might get a quicker answer if you're on one of these higher level paid plans. So that's something to keep in mind as well. But I'll tell you, for the most part, I think I've emailed Wave Apps customer service once in over 3 years. So it's not something I've really needed to use a lot, and therefore definitely not worth me paying the $200 a month or $180 a month with QuickBooks to have that level of service. So I'm going to leave this there. Hopefully that was helpful for everyone. If you have any questions, if you're watching this on the replay, let me know. I'm more than happy to come back and answer your questions. And again, if you're interested in Wave Apps, not an affiliate, it's a free product. You can learn more by going to waveapps.com. And I will be back here next week. We're going to talk about QuickBooks. We're going to talk about Xero. So over the course of the next few weeks, I'm going to review the other accounting systems as well. I'm also going to do FreshBooks. That's one that's changed a lot in the last year. And I've gotten a lot of questions about recently whether or not that's a good system to use. So we're going to look at that one together as well. Just a reminder, I am here every single Thursday for our Tip Thursday. Again, I'll be back here next week for another one. But if you are not a member of the free Badass Moneymakers group, I highly recommend that you hop over there and join, because that is where I also do a monthly Q&A. So if you ever have any biz, tax, money, finance, accounting questions, you can ask them over there. And we post a lot of just other really cool resources, support guides, things like that inside of that free Facebook group. It's a great place to be if you are a business owner, if you've got questions about the money stuff. So head on over to megkwheeler.com/group to get inside of there. All right, friends, I hope you are having a great week, and I will see you back here next Thursday for another Tip Thursday. Bye for now.